He will be replacing Mr. Buck Duncan, who has served 2 terms on the commission. Mr. Lesher is a former Town of Easton council member from Ward 2 and a current county council member. He's also chief historian at the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum in St. Michael's. He's the troop committee chair for the Boy Scout Troop 190, and he was appointed to the Governor of Maryland's 250 Commission and the vice president of the Council of the American Maritime Museums, among many other things. Mr. Lesher's leadership, his civic engagement, and his community commitment will be a great asset to the commission, and I'm pleased to recommend him to appointment for a 6-year term.
Was this position openly advertised?
Openly advertised?
Aren't we supposed to advertise job openings in the
It's an appointment to a board, not a job.
Okay. Was it committee or staff reviewed?
So it goes through Easton Utilities. I meet with Mr. Horner with a number of resumes and make the appointment.
Will he be stepping down from the county council if he is on this board?
I do not believe so.
Ms. Van Amber, is there any legal issue with somebody serving on the county council and also on the commission?
Just became aware of this issue shortly before the meeting, so I am scurrying to try to find the answer. So the Maryland Constitution does prohibit a person from holding 2 offices of trust and profit, they're called. The county council is clearly a position of trust and profit. The question is an Easton Utilities commissioner also an office of trust and profit? And there's some factors, and there's an AG opinion and some case law that goes through that. I haven't had a chance to go through all of those to make that determination. It clearly is created by law. It's created by the charter, that position. It is paid, very little, but paid. And then it relates to the duties of that person, and that's the analysis that I haven't had a chance to really dive into to determine. So I don't have a definitive answer. I think we would probably get to the conclusion that it is not a second office of trust and profit, but I don't know at this moment.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable taking this to a vote until we have that heard, and at the same time, I think that this should also go through the town and the county ethics commission to make sure, or commissions rather, that this is checks out. Okay, that's where I'm at on this. I think that is the appropriate procedure here. You know, he's sworn an oath to the county, and sometimes we have competing interests, and he can't have 2 masters. So, you know, I think that there will be a conflict when land needs to be rezoned for solar, as is currently in the legislature. So I think that is something that we should be considering. So I'd like to hold until both of those town and county ethics boards have been consulted regarding this.
I do find myself in a somewhat uncomfortable position because I consider Mr. Lesher a close personal friend. I think he is absolutely, as well, absolutely a wonderful and perfect addition to the commission. And I would almost think I have to recuse myself from voting because I couldn't possibly vote no on Mr. Lesher. But I just have been reflecting as we have gone through several appointments to boards here, and the Easton Utilities Commission is, I mean, it is by far the most important because Easton Utilities probably matters more to the well-being of people in the town than we do here sitting in the town council. I would really like to have an opportunity to have some discussion with the mayor and, in this case, Mr. Horner, or just with the mayor. Hopefully we could do it in an executive session, but just to hear your thoughts about different candidates rather than always having one candidate put in front of us. I feel that point, I mean, I know we could ask Mr. Lesher to come up here and we could cross-examine him and find that he is both eloquent and well qualified for the job, but I really would like to have a chance to discuss potential appointees in privately as an employment matter, if we could call it that, just so that you could get the views of the council members about different people, rather than always coming to us with something that at that point is basically a rubber stamp, because none of us are going at this point to start to raise a fuss about an individual who we probably know in public.
Just rest assured that there are a number of conversations between Mr. Horner and myself leading up to this. It's not something we take lightly, and we meet a number of times and go over a number of recommendations and resumes.
Yeah.
And after reviewing all of them and understanding, from speaking with Mr. Horner, we make a recommendation to the council for approval. So it's not, we don't pull the top resume off the pile and say, please rubber stamp it. There is discussion that goes into.
No, I understand that, and I'm very
a lot of
glad it's
thought.
the two of you. I certainly hope you will be giving us an opportunity to do that kind of discussion of different candidates for the town manager when the time comes.
There will be opportunity when we set up our interview process throughout the day, that there will be opportunity for department heads and the council to meet the candidates.
Okay, but will you sit down and discuss it with the council members?
You mean individually? We
No,
have to.
when you have made your cut to say the top
Oh.
three.
Yeah, there's going to be, the way we're designing the interviews, it's going to be full-day interviews for candidates, so you'll have an opportunity to meet all the candidates.
Yes. No, but will we have an opportunity to sit down with you to discuss your
Always.
choices?
Always.
Okay.
I will always listen to feedback.
Okay.
Okay. Reverend?
I mean, I don't have any issues with Pete Lesher. Maybe his bow tie or something, but outside of that, I think that it would be best to wait to hear clearly what Sharon, Ms. Van Emberg, has to offer us, that we make sure that we're okay. And when that happens, I don't think that we should expedite whatever we're going to do here on the council. Maybe somehow before council, or somehow we can call a special meeting or something to make it happen. But I think it's vital and important that we make sure we're on the right side of the law. And that's my only question, my only concern regarding this. If I didn't know that information, we would probably be finished this portion of it. But now that I know that information, I would like to stand on the right side of the law and make sure we're in compliance.
What's our takeaway? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean,
I took direction that I need to get a response back of whether there's any legal issues for him serving those two offices. And then I heard different things about whether we need ethics opinions or not.
okay.
I mean, that was my concern.
Okay.
So, can you give us?
If we get a ruling from the AG, or from the state, that there's no need for an ethics review on a local
That
basis.
seems more serious.
I think what she's saying is, when I review the AG opinions and case law that's out there,
okay.
and give you my
Right.
interpretation of those, I can even provide those to you, that maybe there's then not the need for the ethics. The ethics is usually looking at a little different. It's more of a conflict of interest,
Right.
as opposed to this trust and profit issue. They're kind of a different analysis. It doesn't mean you can't have both if you want them, but
Sure. What's the timetable?
I will
Turn
get an
around.
answer back to you by the end of this week.
Okay, thank you.
And we can address this at the next meeting. Okay.
Is that okay with you, Mayor, that we address this at the next meeting, pending?
Sharon's review. Yep.
That okay?
Yeah.
Okay.